On here's some universal truths. These are immutable laws that every religion, every country follows because these are all natural laws. So you can't escape them. The first law is mentalism. Everything is mind. In the Bible, it talks about, because I'm Christian. But before I was Christian, I read this book called The Kabbalion. And the Kabbalion is the one that talks about this, breaks down the immutable laws, 7 immutable laws. And after I became Christian, I started looking at the Bible and I was looking at the similarities, because it's like the law of vibrations, frequency. You got cause and effect. For every action, there's a reaction. The law of gender, it's how everything balances out. The law of mentalism, basically all is mind. Our thoughts shape our reality. That's coming from the place where, like you are, whenever have you ever won something, or have you ever been in a great mood and something happened to you, where just like you got a big check, or just a lot of energy was flowing, when energy was just flowing through you, and all of a sudden you got a lot more opportunities. You're talking different, you're walking different, you're texting different. You know what I'm saying? You're just attracting all kinds of opportunities. That comes from whatever happened that day. Whether you got a big paycheck, whether it was that King Kong check, that tax season check, you landed your first deal, anything like that. Especially in the door-to-door space, if you're out there knocking, you get an appointment, don't stop, don't take a break. Go after your next deal because that energy is still flowing. The law of correspondence. Patterns repeat. Everything is connected. So everything happens in cycles. So the law of correspondence says. And so this is where, I don't know if you've heard as above, so below. That's where that comes from. Essentially, you already know when it comes to having the life that you want. What habits, when it comes to habits, the law of correspondence basically says patterns repeat. So it just reminds me, this is just me personally, it would be a pretty good idea to check what kind of person do I want to be in the future, 5-10 years from now, whatever that may be, in the different areas of life. And do the habits that I have right now, are they serving me to get one step closer to that person that I want to be, my future self? Because if they're not, you got to break them. Replace it with a better habit. So the law of vibration, basically everything's frequency. Whenever you're on the doors, whatever it is you're vibrating at, that's what you're going to get back. There's a really good book. You don't have to read the whole book, but there's an image in there that I'd like you to get. It's called Power versus Force. It basically shows you like where anger's at, like all these different low vibrational frequencies, all the way up to like God mode. And that's just a term, for the different frequencies. But basically, whatever frequency you're on, that's what you're sending out. That's what the universe is giving back to you. That's what God is giving back to you. The law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. And if you're into like self-development, chances are you've looked into like a bunch of health stuff, so you already know what's up with the health stuff. But that's why some of the guys, they say like, if you're sick, there's a cure for everything. Now, this is not health advice. I'm just simply saying this law is stating everything has an opposite. So maybe it's too late for some people because they caught it too late, whatever it is that they say with an illness, for example. Let's say they're at the end of time. First off, nothing's impossible, right? But realistically, if you catch something that's ahead that can't be taken away, that they say there's no cure for it, this law right here is saying there is a cure. That there is not a one-sided deal. Everything has an opposite. So if you get a bad disease, you can actually, there's a way to reverse engineer it, to reverse it. You know what I'm saying? So you can get out of it. Now, like I said, this is not health advice. I'm just saying what the law is saying. And if you've been in the space, the whole self-development space, then you already know about fasting. You already know about, just water fast, doing a strict water fast, doing all kinds of stuff. There's plant medicine. There's all kinds of stuff. Anyway, moving on. Rhythm, the law of rhythm. Everything flows in cycles. Now, in the door-to-door space, we call this the solar coaster. I do solar, so it's like you got ups, you got downs, you got peaks, you got valley. But guess what? One of the things that I've noticed since I've been here, let's say this is a solar coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But it's always, if you can when it comes to the law of mentalism. Like if you just keep your head and keep pushing forward, guess what? You're gonna have the ups and downs, but guess what? You're gonna be still going back. So the person you were right here, let's say day 1 versus 1 year. The point is, the same person you were right here is you're gonna become a different person right here, just going through these motions. Like, yes, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, you're gonna have peaks, you're gonna have valleys, but every time you're just gonna get 1% better. You're gonna get better and better and better the longer you're going through this, unless you give up before the magic happens. A lot of the times people give up, and they give up right here. 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 They don't get to see the magic happening. So let's say you've only gotten 1 deal a month. You're about to have like 4 or 5 deals in a week, and you're not gonna know because you're like, dude, I'm tired of this shit, Kane. And this is it. So anyway, everything happens in cycles. Cause and effect. Every action, there's a reaction. This is karma right here for you. In what they call in America, American Western karma is different than Eastern karma. So Western karma is cause and effect. You do something, you get that energy back. You put that energy out there, you get the energy back. So it's a real big deal. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. The reason why I bring that up is because everything always happens for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be with that victim shit. Like, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why me? Why me? You got to control the controllables. You know what I'm saying? You have to control the controllables. And the way I look at life is like, okay, well, I don't know why this shit happened right now, but what's the lesson am I supposed to learn? What's the lesson am I supposed to learn from this? So that way, there's got to be a lesson learned from whatever situation I'm in. I think they call it feedback loop. It's not failing, you're just in a feedback loop. Feedback loop. The law of gender, masculine and feminine. In the Bible, it talks about the different. Don't quote me right now. I'll find it and I'll put it right here somewhere on the screen. But he talks about all these things. The Bible talks about each one. But masculine and feminine, I mean, we're made, man. We're made to be. 2 people are better than 1. And if you're on the same path, then fucking all the better. You know what I'm saying? But masculine and feminine and how they balance each other out. Everybody's different on their journey. This is just how I look at it from my personal opinion and the stuff that I've read over these last couple of years. Picking this stuff up. That's why I wanted to make this deal. And you can actually see these are universal truths, though. These are God's law. This is natural law. This is not Miles' law. This is not like something I came up with. I didn't come up with none of this stuff. This is God's law. And these are immutable. These are immutable. So pick up that book if you want to dive deeper. If you don't, you can ChatGPT this stuff and take a screenshot of this, put it in ChatGPT, tell it to give you a better summary of each law and how you can use it in your everyday life. The majority of people use ChatGPT right now. So you can literally screenshot this and say, hey, can you explain this to me? What each law means and where am I weak at? And I don't know, so on and so forth. You can dive deep with ChatGPT since everybody already has it on the phone. This is pretty good. Here you go, another one. If you like the videos like this, man, comment, subscribe.